Yeah, when you're feeling down and motivated in the midweek, we got the guys here to make your life complete. Little John, Brandon, Cody, Carly, they're coming in to keep you motivated all week. New episode, same time every week. Don't gotta wait long for the next one to release. So don't go away, sit down, take a seat, enjoy midweek motivation with John and Carly. Hey.
Midweek motivation.
Let's go!
One of these days, we're going to start the show just like that. It'll be good. Maybe not. Maybe it won't be good. Well, hey, welcome to Midweek Motivation.
Hello.
Real conversations with real people about a very real God. I do have a real person along with me today, and I'm fairly confident that I'm real. I don't think I've been replaced by aliens anytime lately. Yep. I feel real.
Yep, he's real.
I'm here.
He is 100% legit.
Very real coffee, Black Rifle coffee. About as real as you can get. Probably some of the best coffee around.
I think this is salted caramel.
Ooh, that's fantastic. Is that the stuff that was
It's
in
still
the break
black
room this
coffee.
morning?
Yes, it's in the break room.
So not bad. It's could be stronger. So I don't know who made it this morning, but it could definitely be stronger.
To be fair, all coffee coming from the Keurig can be stronger.
Well, that's true. See, so that's the one reason, right? So I loved having Keurig. I had one for years. I loved having it. My only complaint on the Keurig is it's never strong enough, and I can never make enough of it at a time. Right, so even if you get the one with the big old pot that you can stick under it, kind of like the one we have in the break room there.
Yeah,
it's great, but you're still just putting regular grounds in it. Right. So it's got the other thing, but never in my life do I need just like one cup of coffee. Right, maybe every once in a while in the afternoon and things, but almost always. If I'm brewing coffee, I'm brewing like a massive pot in the morning and then just drinking it all day.
75% of my hydration comes from coffee.
Right? I'm pretty sure that's dehydration.
No, it's still water.
I
It's
mean,
just tainted water. It's
but
flavored water.
But the coffee is, I'm going to use a big word here. Okay. The coffee is a diuretic, right?
Ooh.
Right? Which, if you're
not that kind of diuretic.
not that kind of
the
diuretic.
other kind, the good kind.
I mean, it is kind of that.
If you have a weak
it
constitution, you got to be a lightweight.
Look, some of us are that way.
Anyway,
that devolved really quickly, which, we should do a coffee episode. It's been a while since we've done a coffee episode. We did.
you can have a coffee candle right in the middle.
We did. I don't think they'll be able to smell it. Online,
Well, we can.
But
I mean-
yeah, that's like the brisket we should have done a couple weeks ago when we did Meat on the
The
Mountain.
fake brisket. Just a big piece of rubber.
Oh no, it was going to be real brisket, and we
yeah.
were going to eat on it the whole time. It was going to be
That
fantastic.
would have been so enjoyable.
We did a coffee episode. I think it was last season. We did a coffee episode where we did a blind taste test of the cafe versus Starbucks.
Oh, yes.
And I think Duncan might have gotten thrown in there too. So no shade to all those, right? But we won all of them.
Oh,
Pretty handsomely.
wow.
It was fantastic.
Kudos to the cafe crew.
Yeah, Steffi, shout out to her and all of her team. We definitely beat all the others. And you know what? If nothing else, we beat all the others just for the simple fact that all of the profit goes to not support a CEO and their agenda, but to support world missions and advancing the gospel of Jesus Christ. So you can choose on Sunday morning which you'd rather support, Starbucks or Dunkin' or the Bridge Cafe.
I choose Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to advance the cause of evil, you can keep supporting other
You hear
places.
that, Starbs. We know you're right across the road. Don't
Starbucks
phase
might
us.
be calling us out for libel now. Is that no libel's if you print, right? So this is what's the other one? Slander. Yeah. Is there a term for if it's spoken media in a podcast?
I think it's still.
Maybe it's slander.
It's
All right.
virtual bullying. I'll tell you that.
All the snowflakes are going to come after us for virtual bullying.
By the way,
a large company.
Levi Phillips said that me without glasses is crazy. I agree with you because guess what, Levi? I can't see a thing.
So
I
here's
can't
the
even
question.
see myself on the screen.
But is that crazy good or crazy like not great?
That's true. He didn't elaborate on that. Like, is he crazy good looking? Is he crazy weird?
There's probably at least one
the
person in
bags
your
under
life
his
that thinks
eyes
crazy
from
good.
having two kids that are young are very deep. Is that crazy?
I mean, that does it.
Yes.
That'll for sure do it to you.
This is me rolling my eyes at you, Levi. Elaborate next time.
Yes, welcome to Midweek Motivation. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got a fun topic today. I think it's kind of fun, and we've definitely covered it on the show before. I just didn't know when. This is what happens on the shows every once in a while. It just seems like we come back to just my personal musings and contemplations, and other words, other synonyms.
It's kind of like a therapist chair.
A little bit. It's actually kind of good.
Yes.
It's just, instead of talking privately to a professional, we're talking publicly to a bunch of people on the internet that just they exist on the internet for all time. So, one of those is probably better than the other. So maybe, who knows? We've had a professional therapist on the show before, and it's been good. We've had probably a couple.
Oh. Yes,
Yeah.
Technically, yes.
Yeah, we've had lots of people.
Wow.
Anyways, we were talking about something. Good things happening. Number one, I missed last week, so thank you for Carly coming out of retirement. Always give Carly a hard time, and he always acts like he's so busy and he can't make it on here. But Carly genuinely loves doing midweek. It was a challenging thing for him to hand this over to me and let me kind of take it over. And but he's been great and really supportive. So thank you, Carly, for jumping in when we need you. Even though you're a big, fancy, associate lead pastor now who's too busy for us. That's all right. That's fine. We still love you. But yes, Carly, thank you. Trevor, thanks for carrying the show for us last week. Dang good episode. If you missed last week, just turn this off and go watch that, and then you can come back and watch us later. But great episode.
I didn't agree to that.
Great story. Good heavens. So I hadn't heard that story until I'm watching the show about you getting almost jacked at the 7-Eleven. I don't remember you ever telling me that story.
I feel like it's not good practice to target 6 feet, 250-pound dudes in the parking lot, but here we are.
No, I mean, you'd think they could pick a weaker target.
You would think.
But,
I mean, I'm not intimidating, I don't think.
See, I don't think I'm very intimidating either.
I'm a lot like my dad. My dad is just, he's the big bald guy that greets everybody at church, and everybody knows he's a teddy bear.
Right? But looking at him, you would assume, he could mess you up.
Yeah.
And maybe he could, but he also wouldn't unless he had to, I feel like that's the Lynn Worley demeanor. Like, I love you, but I will also mess you up if I need to.
I have a story to tell you after midweek. You're going to laugh.
Those are the best stories. The stories we can't say on the show are probably the best ones. But yes, great episode last week. Thanks so much, guys, for carrying that. Excellent story, and man, so timely. I loved the interaction from y'all in the chat. I love when we have those kind of topics that are real timely, where we really resonate. I think today is one of those as well. Today we're going to talk about the different seasons of life that we tend to go through. Right, and I'm sure we've talked about this before, but I've done so many of those episodes I couldn't even tell you when it was. So, and I think it's a little different, but we'll get into that in a minute. There's a couple things happening. One, we had Meet on the Mountain, and I don't know if we got to talk much about Meet on the Mountain since it happened. Fantastic day, massive cornhole tournament. I think there was 50 teams in the cornhole tournament.
Yes,
like
50
that.
Exactly.
I did not choose to burden anybody with my partnership, so I did not participate, which is probably better for everyone, especially somebody who would have gotten stuck being my partner. How far did you make it in the cornhole tournament?
I managed to tie my record last year and lose my only 2 matches.
Nice. Hey,
thank you. Hold the applause, please.
Wait, hold on. There's one of those. Oh, I got the right one. Oh, it never happens. Oh, does it stop? Oh, I have to hit the button to stop it.
Wow, that's abrupt. Just fade it out.
That's very abrupt. Look, this is not exactly a professional show. I guess technically it is, but, not technically. For the record, this is not Black Rifle coffee in the coffee cup. This is not great coffee, and it's getting cold now. So if you see me take a drink and make a bad face afterwards, it's not a reflection on Black Rifle coffee.
Yeah.
It's a reflection on this is cold, or like, what's below lukewarm? It's not cold, but it's not even lukewarm. So if this is hot and this is cold, it's lukewarm's in the middle, and it's somewhere below lukewarm.
Definitely spitting you out at that point.
Yeah, it's not great.
Also, contrary to popular belief, There is no mountainous snow creature in this Yeti cup.
There is no mountainous snow creature.
No, that's what Yetis are, isn't they?
That is a Yeti.
They are not in this cup. It's only coffee.
I was thinking there would be a Yeti in it, but I've been wrong before. So Ashley knows that story, and I'm assuming that's the story. That's the story you can't tell me until off the air.
Either that, or she's talking about the possible robbery story, which she obviously was.
I would hope she knows that story.
It. Yeah,
yeah, I would hope she did.
But
hear
if
that
she's
story
talking
on the
about
air.
the story about Lynn Worley, then yes, she knows.
Well,
it's funny. It's not anything that's inappropriate. Like, you would laugh, but I don't have time to go through this whole story with all of you. I'm sorry. You want to know it? Just ask him. Hey, what's the story? He probably will have
Yes.
no idea what you're talking.
Everyone go up to Lynn on Sunday when you see him at the front doors and say, "What's the story Trevor's talking about?"
Please don't put him on the spot. I don't want to make him cry.
Yes. So last week, great episode. This week we are talking about seasons. We had Meat on the Mountain. That's what I'm had to get back around to where we were. Meat on the Mountain, fantastic.
Yes. Wonderful.
Great message. Great time of prayer. Good time just to be around. I think all of the guys in our group were there. I think there were maybe one or two that couldn't be there, but it was cool to connect with a bunch of the guys from our small group and be able to see them. Mm-hmm. It's such a chill, relaxing atmosphere. Like, if you want to play cornhole, play cornhole. Like, if you don't and you want to sit around and talk and eat a bunch of meat and listen to bluegrass music, which I do not like bluegrass music, but I enjoy it as background music, and I have great respect for the craft and the talent.
Yes, the level of talent that bluegrass musicians possess is a level I will never reach.
Right? I think you could do it. I think on Sunday we can get you a banjo. I think you could get up there. It's only 4 strings. I guess, well, yeah.
Come on.
I guess there's 5 string.
Come on.
You could do it. I believe in you. I think we need to get you a banjo.
I know 4 instruments. That's all I'm going to learn.
I mean,
I'm too old to learn new tricks.
There's room for one more. But let's see. Meat on the Mountain happened. That was great. We celebrated our graduates, which was like 23, 22 graduates that we celebrated.
Yeah.
It's insane. There's a ton of people. Like, there were so many people stretched across the stage that we had Corinne pray over them, and we were looking for her on the cameras, and she had to stand off the stage in the dark, like on the steps, which presumably I think she loved, because she does not love being in the spotlight, and which is so silly because she's so good. Like, if you've ever listened to Corinne speak or teach or pray, like, she's so good. Right?
Yeah.
But she's just, I think that's just her, we'll just call that her humble personality, and we'll let Dustin be the loud one and let her be the one that hides in the side.
I appreciated her prayer time during prayer and fasting.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
That was a blessing.
Great teaching on was it Psalm 59, whichever one, where it's she referenced when Nathan was calling David out for his sin, and the way she was teaching us to pray through that, just good stuff. It's, I tell people all the time, I've been in church so long that I've listened to so many messages and teaching all the time. It's not all the time do I hear something new, right, or have a new perspective.
Right.
It's not all the time, and sometimes that's me, but sometimes that's just a matter of I've heard a lot.
And it gets you pumped up when you hear something new. It's just,
Right.
Oh,
and
I can't believe I never
what
noticed
I
that.
love, at 36 years old, I've been in church basically every week of my life.
Yep.
Right, for 36 years.
Old.
And I've listened to a whole lot of podcasts and other preaching and chapel services, a ton of preaching over the years. And so when I still find something new in scripture, and like, if you've been a Christian for a little while and you're like, I know everything, you're wrong. you're so wrong, right? Yeah. Even Pastor John, when Pastor John was preaching all the time, like 35 years in ministry just here at Parkway, right? And, we won't dox his age, but, multiple years of ministry would still find new things in Scripture and discover new things about God. So don't ever get, this is for free. Don't ever get to that point where it's like, I know all of this, right? Because, I went to school to study ministry and learn new things. So we all learn new things, and we all need to keep learning new things. So
yes.
Trevor, I also choose to believe that he meant crazy good looking. I think we can go with that.
I mean, that's the natural belief, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's a good assumption.
Just ignore the bags.
What else is coming up? There's other things. There's a new Friends party coming up, I think like June 8th.
Yes.
I wrote terrible notes today, okay?
Well,
I'll be
I
transparent.
sit here acting like I could read them anyway.
Well, there's even something on the back and it printed upside down, so
Okay,
that'll be fun.
I don't know when the dates are, but
Yeah.
yes, we do have a new Friends party
Yeah,
coming up in a
I'm
couple
pretty
weeks.
confident it's June 8th. You can go to parkroanoke.com/NFP, and that'll tell you the actual accurate dates, all that good stuff. That'll tell you the realness of it.
Yeah.
The realness of it. There's other things happening. I don't know. Go to the website, look at all the things. Actually, here's the best way. This is my terrible segue because I meant to mention this. The best way to keep up with the things happening at Parkway is to download the Parkway app. If you've
Yes.
not ever downloaded the Parkway app, or if you download a really old version of the Parkway app that's like gray and blue with the Parkway logo, then you're wrong. You need the new one. So we're working on uploading all of the sermons for the past 2 years right now. So all the way back, really 3 years. All the messages since back to like 2022 are going to end up there. There's a ton of them up there right now. So you can go back, you can listen to old services, old messages. All the series are up there. You can actually read scripture right in the app, which is fantastic. And here's the other cool thing: if you're reading scripture in the app, if we've ever preached on that passage, or if we've ever done a midweek episode or any kind of discussion or any kind of content on that passage, it'll pop up, and it might even be related. Look how cool that is, right?
Isn't that neat?
So that's fantastic. You can let's see, you can check. Well, you can kind of check your kids in from that, but you can keep up with your groups from all that. You'll keep up with the message notes in the message on Sunday mornings, all that good stuff. So if you ever want to know more about what's happening at Parkway, if you're interested in next steps like baptism or new friends party, child dedications, joining a group, all of those things are in there. Everything you could possibly need to know about being connected at Parkway is in that app. So, and you can even watch Midweek Motivation in that app. I should have mentioned that.
I mean, these. Hey, look, our followers know. Okay,
You would think,
those that watch Midweek, they know.
right?
They know. They're in
and-
the in crowd.
And I'll give a little tease. Okay, I can't tease everything yet, but I will tease just this part, right? Because I can't tease it all. So we have for years mentioned that we're gonna, the phrase is, we should put that on a T-shirt. We may have done that.
Just might.
Right? So that's all I can say, right? Just be ready, but that may be coming, right? So just be ready, keep watchful for that. How many of you would wear a Midweek Motivation T-shirt? Let us know in the chat. Who would wear it? Yeah, he would only wear it if it's free. That's what he
That's,
told.
partly true.
That's what you and Cody both told me.
Now, listen. All right. Some of us, you got to pay for other things.
Right. Like children.
Also have a beach trip coming up. So.
And cool Michigan shoes. Yeah.
I didn't buy these.
Right. Which, look, I'm going to apologize on air in front of everyone.
Yes.
I was supposed to wear my Michigan jersey today, and I did not. Right. So Trevor and I happen to be 2 of only 3 human beings on the entire church staff that are Michigan fans. We have a special, deep relationship because of that.
Yeah.
Because we happen to be fans of the winningest football.
Who's the
school.
third?
Christine.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
she's from Michigan.
Duh.
Yeah.
Anyway, winningest program of all time, most wins in college football, 11 national championships. Who's counting? What is it now? Is it 54, 53 Big Ten titles? Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Tell
a
me
lot.
something, Ohio State. How
It's
many
a
Big
lot,
Ten titles
and it's
do you have?
more than Ohio State.
More. than
Significantly
Ohio
more
State.
still, which is all that really matters. And I don't care about their national championship. We still beat them this year. So it doesn't matter.
Our championship was better, 15-0.
It's hard to get better than JJ, which I'm looking forward. Is he going to be healthy?
He absolutely is. And the Vikings, unfortunately, they're in the same division as the Lions. But consider me a Vikings fan when I'm not watching the Lions,
Right.
or when they're not playing.
So my dad grew up in Minnesota, so I've always been a little bit of a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Right. So like back in the Warren Moon and Brad Johnson days, those are deep. Right.
Wow.
So that's why I'm wearing the purple today, right?
That's
Because
not
our boy
why you're wearing-
JJ
that's not why
is
you're
a
wearing purple.
is a
That's a
Viking.
lie. He just forgot.
Yeah, I completely forgot.
Terrible.
That's 100%.
Anyway, what's next?
One day we should do like an all Michigan episode.
We would have
no one
no
will care
viewers.
Carly would for sure not watch that show.
You want to talk Michigan football? Come find us on Sunday mornings. I promise you, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
About it. Yes.
Yeah, or to find Lynn Worley.
He will also talk to you about the good old days and about how college football is being ruined by the NFL. So you want to have that conversation.
There you go. So I need to do a show with you and your dad about the downfall of college football. We could do in-depth analysis. That would be fantastic because I know nothing, and that would be fantastic. That would be probably more fun. Let's see. Brunk would wear a shirt like that. Phillips would wear a shirt. Of course, Phillips would wear that shirt. Come on. Let's see. I'm sure your wife would wear one if you bought her one. That seems like a good birthday present. A midweek T-shirt.
She could just buy herself one. We have the same money.
I know, right?
My money is your money, dear.
Right.
Buy you a shirt.
Way to go. Way to set that example. What a good man. I love that.
I know.
But yeah,
Trophy husband of the year.
Somehow we got off of that. We always get off of that. This is why you're here. Like if you're unsure of what's happening right now, just welcome to the show. This is it. This is what we got. But yes, download our Parkway app. Everything is there. It's good stuff. You can always listen to our messages or our services, the messages on Apple and Spotify podcasts. You can listen to Midweek on Apple and Spotify. So if you need something just to put in your ears while you're working to ignore your coworkers, or something to prevent you from, flipping out on your coworkers, right? We've all had those moments where it's like, look, if this person talks to me one more time, or if they send me an email, it's going to go down. So if you need a little motivation to put in your ears, we're on Apple and Spotify podcasts as well, all that good stuff. But download the Parkway app. You'll also, if you have the app, you'll get notifications about things happening at the church when Midweek's about to go live, all that good stuff. Brunk, we're gonna count you as a Michigan fan just because you're not an Ohio State fan. So as long as you're against Ohio State, that's really all that matters. That's kind of the most important thing.
I mean, I guess if you don't like Ohio State or Michigan State, then you get a pass.
Yeah,
even that random Notre Dame fan that we may just so happen to work with, he also gets a pass.
He does get a pass because he cheered for Michigan multiple times this year.
You got those texts too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Thank
he probably
you,
texted both of us.
I think it really helped us.
And he was cheering. He hates Ohio State, so I'm comfortable with that. I don't know if he hates them enough, but that's all right. But anyways, what are we here for today? We are talking about seasons, and here's how I know I'm getting old, right? Well, two reasons. Number one, it's graduation season. All these graduations happening, right? And this is the kind of season that always makes me nostalgic for, like, when I was graduating high school and all those things. So I'm curious what kind of response we'll get on this, right? So if you have graduated high school, so Levi, you don't get to participate. I'm so sorry. Put in the chat the year that you graduated high school. Okay, so I'm curious where we land. Okay,
people are going to call me youngin'.
Right. So if it helps, I graduated in 2006, which, if you're doing the math, is just shy of 20 years ago.
Bruh.
Right. Now, Carly graduated in like 2005 because he's older than me.
Yes, Carly is,
which is just a wonderful thing because he's older than me, but barely.
Class of 2012 represent.
2012. Man, I had my first son in 2012. I always forget. You're so mature. I always forget that you're younger than me. That's
I don't know if mature is the word.
But you know what's funny is, as I've gotten older, like, I don't realize I'm as old as I am. Like, I meet people, like, when I met you, I assumed you and I were about the same age, right?
That a lot.
Not because you look older, but because my image of myself is like, oh, I'm 30.
That's right.
Right?
You look pretty good.
And that is not the case. I am not 30 anymore. Brunk, you are not that coworker. Wait, what did I say about that? What did I say? I don't even remember what I said now.
I think he's talking about the Notre Dame coworker.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, am I that coworker? That was a question. I read that wrong. No, Brunk, you're not that coworker.
No.
We have a different coworker that's a Notre Dame fan.
You're weird, but we love you.
Yeah, we do love you. Yeah, join the Bald Man Club. Which, Brunk, you still need to shave your head. You need to join the club.
Grow the beard and shave the head.
Grow the beard and shave the head.
Do it.
Right? And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, right? Well, gentlemen, if your wife is against you having a beard, right? I'll tell you my story. My wife was against me having a beard for a long time, and then I grew it and kept it. and that was 7 years ago.
Yep. Ashley, if you're watching, go ahead and raise your hand in the chat because that's you too.
And I'll tell you, she grew to, I won't say love it, and I'm not even sure she grew to like it, but she grew to appreciate and understand it.
Tolerate it.
Tolerate's probably a more accurate word. You know, if you need marriage counseling after you grow a beard, Pastor Glenn would love to meet with you, because you don't want me, because I'm not going to be helpful.
You're coming to me about a beard? Yes.
Yeah, so hopefully a beard is not causing strife in your marriage. But you know, it's funny. We actually had a debate at our dinner table the other night, where I split the kids up, or I had split the kids up versus Courtney, or I'd let them take a position on whether or not Dad should shave his beard, and all the boys took the negative, like that Dad should keep his beard, and then Courtney took the affirmative that Dad should, you know, shave his beard. And it was really entertaining to watch them, like, point by point argue with each other. It was really, really fun.
Wow.
Hopefully that was an educational moment for them that'll serve them later. If nothing else, it was just fun for me and entertaining. So I will tell you I still have a beard as a result of that debate. But yeah, so seasons, right? I'm getting old. I just don't always realize that I'm getting older. Right, I don't think I'm old, right? So for all of you that are watching that are older than me, you know, listen to me talk about being old. Like, I know I'm not old. I get that.
Right.
I'm comfortable with not being old, but I am getting older, right? And I'm becoming more and more aware that I'm changing as I get older, right? So something happens, and maybe it's being a dad, maybe it's just getting old, but man, so Christian graduated from kindergarten, right? Which, look, it's real cute.
Love that kid.
Right? I love that kid too. I won't say he's our favorite, because parents shouldn't have favorites.
He's the favorite.
But, you know, somebody else could probably say that and figure that out. But Christian graduating from kindergarten was emotional, like more emotional than I expected, right? Because he's our last, right? When Hudson graduated from kindergarten, it was like, oh my gosh, he's our first, he's growing up and all these things, right? And then when you're last, the middle two, it's like, all right, cool, that's cute, we've done this before, moving on. And then it's the last one, it's like, oh wait, we're never going to do this kindergarten graduation thing again, right? And it's like, it's kind of sad, right? Because it's super adorable to watch them do all these things. And then you see these students that are graduating high school, and you see them moving into a new phase of life where a lot of them are going to enter the workforce. A lot of them are going to school, preparing for careers and doing all these things. Several are going to go into the military, all that good stuff, right? All good options. And it always makes me a little bit nostalgic for, you know, when I was in that season, right? And it's fun to look back over the past 20 years since then and see all the different seasons of life that I've been through, you know? So maybe this is just a thing that happens in your mid-30s, or as you get older, you start to look back and, you know, reevaluate things and, you know, look at all the different seasons. And but I started thinking about all the seasons that we tend to go through in life. And this is by no means all of them, but let's see. Brunk and I graduated the same year. First, he graduated in 3006, which
both
is
ancient.
You know, he's very held back. But Brunk and I are about the same age. I think I'm a little bit older than he is, which accounts for the level of handsomeness. But that's just the way it is. Meaning he's more handsome than I am because he's younger than me. Naturally.
Oh no, you're pretty good looking.
I mean, I think so, but you know, my wife thinks so. But you know, I don't even think she's paying attention or watching. So. She's busy working, and probably she listens to me enough. she doesn't want to listen to me on here. This is why I do this show, so people actually listen to me. But we go through different seasons of life, you know, even just as you get older. Like, so you think about your childhood, right? And I have vivid memories of going to Blockbuster and going to arcades, right?
Dude.
Did you live in the Blockbuster era?
Yes, I lived in the
you're close enough.
era.
Blockbuster was still around.
Yeah, I mean, it phased out when I was like early teen.
Right.
So I still had Blockbuster nights, you know, Domino's Pizza.
Right. There's something beautiful about the stress of trying to pick out a movie, or the worst part was picking out a video game, because I have two brothers, right? So you got to pick out a game. You're only going to get one game, right? Dad's only going to let you get one game, and you got the three of us had to collectively decide, right, and agree on one thing. Which three boys, you know, under 10, agreeing on anything, right, is just nearly impossible.
Right.
Right, but it couldn't be a one-player game. It had to be like a 2 to 4 player game, right? Because we had to be able to play together, all right? But then every once in a while, my older brother would find a way to convince us that, like, oh, one-player game will be fun because you guys can watch me play.
Yeah, you want to watch me play Doom.
Why did we want to watch him play, right? And we did it, too.
Yeah.
Right? That blew my mind. But, you know, I think about my childhood and all those little things, and I'm a little sad my kids have never experienced Blockbuster because that's just...
Thanks a lot.
That's just
Thanks a lot, Netflix and Redbox.
Right, but also...
Jerks.
I have not put a DVD into a DVD player or anything for years.
Yeah.
And I have a ton of movies, and the thought of, like, it sounds like too much work to grab a DVD, to put it in the thing, and then sit back down and then watch the movie. Like, Netflix is already there.
I mean, yeah, even Blu-ray discs, you can get the same quality on the streaming sites.
Right.
If you have, halfway decent internet. So,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Then you think about, I get older and you go through college or, workforce in your early 20s or whatever. And then, if you're like me, I got married when I was 20, right? Because, that's a normal thing to do. But we decided we were going to be broke our entire lives because we were serving in ministry and she was going to be a teacher. So we were always going to be broke. We knew we wanted to get married, so why not?
Yeah.
Why not wait until you have actual money? And, that was never going to happen when you...
I mean, look, God's got us.
Yep. And so we've been married since we were 20. We met when we were 18, and we're 36. So we've literally known each other half of our lives.
Wow.
Which is just the coolest thing when you reach that. It's a lot of fun. Then you're into adulthood, and that's a whole different season, and your outlook on things is different. But beyond that, there are different seasons that we go through in life, right? So you can look back, no matter how old you are, you can look back through your life, and you can define things into kind of two categories, I think. You can define them as good seasons and bad seasons. And there's probably some nuance in there where it's like, they were just kind of mediocre seasons. Like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad, like, whatever. But more than anything, you kind of have good seasons and bad seasons. And I think the challenging thing about that is, in the good seasons, we tend to just appreciate the goodness and just move on, right? Like, I don't know why it's good. I don't know what else is happening, but life is good, so I'm just going to keep moving on.
Yeah.
Right? But then in the bad seasons, we tend to look at God and say, why in the world is this happening? Right? When in reality, like, there's nothing wrong with asking that question, okay? But I'm curious. Now, you can disagree with me if you want, and this is fine. But I'm curious, what would it be like if we looked at the good seasons and asked that same question of God? Why is this good season happening to me? Right? And I think in our bad seasons, I think it's appropriate to ask that question, right? But I think we need to flip it just a little bit. What if we flipped that question and ask God, in the good seasons and the bad seasons, what do you want to change in me in this season? Right? So it's easy for us to ask that I think it's easier for us to ask that in the bad seasons, right? Because, so James 1, 2 through 3, you put your glasses back on, so I'll let you read this. But James 1, 2 through 3, I wasn't going to make you read anything, and then you put your glasses back on.
Right. Well, it's starting to hurt my head in another way.
Right. So James 1 says it this way. Go ahead and read that for us.
Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance.
I would love to have a voice like yours. Like, that's like the great reading radio voice.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Wednesday.
I still sound like James Earl Jones in my head, but I've listened back to these, and it does not sound like James Earl Jones. Trust me. I've listened to a lot of hours of my voice.
We all want to sound like James Earl Jones.
Wouldn't it be great? Or Denzel. I'd settle for Denzel. That'd be pretty cool.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. There's probably somebody else I could sound like. It's Henry Cavill. I would like his voice. He's got a great voice. That'd be a cool voice. Partially because he's British. He sounds more intelligent.
Dan Patrick.
That's a good radio voice. A little too nasally.
So soothing
But
for
it's-
sports.
Yeah. Well, that's a different topic. Great voice though. But I think one of those, we know we're supposed to be looking for change and some lesson in the bad seasons, right? I think we could all come to that conclusion of, like, maybe it's not an easy thing to react right away of like, okay, this is a bad season. What's God want to teach me, right? That's probably not all of our first reaction all the time. Right? But I don't think that's a surprising thing. I think what's more interesting is, what if in both of those seasons, our first reaction was, God, I don't know what you're doing, right? Whether it's good or bad, but what do you want to teach me in this season, right? Because I think God has things to teach us in our bad seasons, right? Which is probably not groundbreaking news to any of us.
Right.
But I think God has things he wants to teach us in our good seasons too. And what I think is interesting about that is, when you come around to different seasons, we tend to have like these highs and these lows, right? You look back through life and it's like, man, life was really challenging, and I remember being depressed here. I went through this, and it changed my outlook here. But what I think James is talking about is, consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds. I think what he's getting at, right? I'm going to read into it a little bit, but I think what he's getting at is, if we develop this trust in God, right, that he's going to carry us and wants to teach us things through the good things and the bad things, then we even out those highs and lows, right? To where, yes, this situation is bad. This season may be bad, but God still wants to teach me things, right? God wants to teach me things in the good times and in the bad times, right? And I think that's a challenging thing for us to focus on, because when life is good, we just want to sit back and enjoy it, right? I like the phrase cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
It is a fantastic phrase, right? Because it's life is good, but I don't want to rock the boat too much, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to question it. I just want to enjoy it, right? But I think if we get in this habit of Kirk Herbstreit, well, that's because he's a former he was a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Cody.
The first thing he's posted all day just to say, hey, I hate Kirk Herbstreit's voice.
Look,
get him off the air.
We all do. That's okay. But I love that idea that that not only we look at like our trials teaching us good things, right, and making us stronger on the other side of that, right? But what if the good times were the times where he wants to teach us things too? Right? What if we didn't have to just sit back and wait for like a bad season for God to grow us up and improve on our lives and, bring us through something to make us stronger, right? In the words of great Kelly Clarkson, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's in your head now, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Come on. One of the greatest voices of a generation. She is the
incredible.
American Idol.
Yeah.
Can sing anything and everything.
Yep.
Have you listened to her rap?
Even still. No, I haven't heard
Bro.
a rap. No, I don't want
Fantastic. She can do anything. It's fantastic. Love me some Kelly Clarkson. I don't even like country music, and I love Kelly Clarkson. But she's a rocker at heart. It's fantastic.
Morgan Freeman, I was thinking of him earlier, but I couldn't come up with the name in my head. And also Chris Collinsworth. He is the one that bonds over Patrick Mahomes. Now, here's a guy who really knows how to play quarterback.
I'd pander to the boys in blue on Midweek today. Cody, man.
We love you, man.
How could you not love somebody like Cody?
Yeah, he needs to get back on the show.
Right? He's a busy man, working hard, which I don't know what he's doing today because it's raining.
Yeah, he ain't working hard right now.
Right? Not selling the concrete in the rain. Come on now.
Maybe. Well,
maybe
he also sells, stone and different stuff like that.
Yeah, but we're going to focus on giving him a hard time and not giving him a pass.
He's not doing
right?
anything.
Unacceptable. One of the OGs, so I might have to give him one of the shirts. But yeah, I think there are things that God wants to teach us in the good seasons and the bad seasons. And we've been singing the song, and this is part of what made me think of this for today. Is it this week we're doing it, or is it next week?
Firm Foundation?
No, the other one.
Oh.
The Plans.
Oh. I think it's this week.
I don't remember. It all runs together. But we've been singing a song for a while at church called The Plans. And it's based on this verse in Jeremiah 29:11. Real popular verse. It's read at like every graduation and all those things. And it's one of those that's like almost cliche. But cliches become cliche for a reason. Right? So it's contextually, I'll tell you, so the entire nation of Israel has been sent into exile. They're in captivity. Right? And this is a promise through the prophet Jeremiah from the Lord. This is what he says. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." Right? So when we go through difficult seasons, right? So think about you're the Israelites and you're in captivity and you're looking back and over generations, God has promised to be your God and watch over you and care for you and all these things, and you're living in captivity, right? But then a promise comes through and says, "Look, I know what I'm doing." Right? Actually, I think that's what the Message translation actually says. Like, I know what I'm doing. I have plans for you. And he's very clear that those plans are not to harm us. Plans to give you a hope and a future. And if that was true for the Israelites, then he hasn't changed, right?
Yep.
Then God's plans for us are not plans that are there to harm you or lead you by rough waters and things, right? So the plans that God has for us are good plans, right? And so what's challenging is when we start to go through difficult seasons, then we start to look and like, oh, I'm going through this tough season. Like, I thought God had good plans for me.
Right.
Right. And have you ever felt like that where it's like, I thought God wanted to do good things in my life.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to go there. I think it takes a lot of extra human faith to not ever get to that point in your mind. But I think it does help to have that kind of, not baseline faith, but the faith that the Bible talks about, where when you are going through tough times, you just got to remember in the back of your mind, like, look, I don't know if this is a test or if it's just something temporary that I have to go through to really see what's on the other side.
Yeah. Because
what's on the other side is usually better than you ever imagined that you would be at.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see that come to fruition because, I've had plenty of bad moments in my life, but on the other side of those bad moments is something miraculous.
Yeah.
And I can't write that. Only God can author that.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the cool thing, and that's maybe one of the advantages of getting older is it's easier to look back in life, right? And then you can see like the good seasons and the bad seasons. And when you're in the middle of a bad season, it's so hard to see that God's going to bring good out of it.
Right.
Right? And in Romans 8:28, God works all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose, right? I think that was actually almost correct. I might have missed something.
You were
else.
like right.
That was pretty
right
close.
On.
I'm not even sure that's the King James.
They're such church kids,
right?
Bro.
Dude, I went to this little Christian school where I've got so many things memorized in King James.
I remember my sisters, they all had like flashcards and
right?
being like Bible verse
dude, underrated
competitions and stuff. Yeah.
Do you remember sword drills? Did you ever do sword drills where you got to hold it up by the binding so you don't stick your finger in it? Yeah. Oh, crazy.
I never did that. No. Well, I said my sisters. I did.
Okay. So your sisters
but
got all.
Now I'm trying to catch up in my older age as my mind and memory deteriorate. Now I'm trying to learn and memorize verses. Come on. What am I doing?
Dude, Courtney and I are the definition of like sheltered church kids.
Yes.
Because we both grew up in church. Her dad's a pastor. I went to a little Christian school. Like, we are like all of the sheltered, like all of the Veggie Tales and all of those.
Wouldn't
things.
have it
like,
any other way, man.
Everything you imagine as a church kid, like she and I are both it, right?
Yeah.
And fantastic. I love every bit of it.
Yep.
And our kids are kind of that way too, which is fantastic. Gosh, I lost it for a second. I got off of that. I think the neat thing is when we look back through our life and you look at that, I think it does take some time to be able to look back and have the maturity to look back and see it, right? So Marshall hit this on Sunday. This was not a planned thing, right? But this is this is what separates a concert and music from worship. Okay, right. Go back and watch the services on Sunday. Either service, 9 or 10:30, it doesn't matter. We sang a song called "Do It Again," right? And I hadn't thought about this, but this fits perfectly with what we're talking about. In that bridge, right before we go into that bridge, Marshall was talking about that there's a word in that song where it says "yet," right? You've never failed, or you've never failed me yet, right? And I should have wrote the lyrics down, but I didn't think about it till just now. But Marshall made the point, like, that word "yet" is not because, like, oh, he might do it, he might fail us this time, right?
Right.
It's because he never, ever has. So why would you expect him to, right? So look back through those seasons of your life, right? One, God gave you good seasons, right? And did good things in you, brought you on the other side of those good seasons, right? And probably on some level, those good seasons probably prepared you for the bad season that followed it, right?
Yeah.
But look back through those bad seasons, and what did God do on the other side of that, right? I mean, just like you said, God's plan on the other side of that is so much better than we could have planned it, right? Almost nothing in my life has actually gone according to plan, right? That has never happened.
Well, and you only get stronger for it, too. I mean, going through the battles. Stronger, like, in your faith. I mean, Ashley and I have gotten astronomically closer in our marriage through our terrible situation, you know, a couple years back, and it's only gotten better. Like, how can God take something so broken and terrible and turn it into, you know, what it is now? Like, I would have never imagined I'd be on staff at a church.
Yeah.
But here I am.
We never imagined it
because of that thing that happened. And now you guys are like, why is God doing this to us?
Right?
Why is this guy here?
Yeah. You're in a good season, we're in a bad season. Yeah, that is what it is.
You know, whatever. I'll take it.
Right?
I see it as a blessing.
But, I mean, you're absolutely right. The worst things in your life, right? The worst situations you go through, like, especially, like, think about marriage, just like you just said. I mean, the worst things that Courtney and I have been through, on the other side of that, I mean, there's been times where it's like, it's just us.
Yeah.
Like, you're in this worst, terrible situation. The only other human being that gets it is your spouse.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And the bond that creates, like, if you've been married for any length of time, I'm say probably 10 years or more, I think it probably takes to make that. Like, beyond that, I think you'd get it. If you haven't been married that long, maybe you haven't been there yet. But, I mean, if you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? There is a bond between my wife and I now because of the things that we've gone through. We've had great support from both of our families and friends and our church and all those things. But the relationship between the two of us, like, there is nothing stronger than that.
Right.
Like, there's something nobody outside of that can understand, right?
Yeah.
And we've been able to lean on each other and lean on Christ together, right? But those things are what carry you through, right? And, man, when you make it through some of those difficult seasons, I mean, when you survive those on the other side and lean on just that other person together, man, look, that's a tough thing to break up.
It's almost like God designed it that way.
Right. So that's what always. All right. So here's I'm gonna give you a hot marriage take. Okay.
Ooh, hot take.
Right. Here's a hot marriage take. Okay. There is a feeling about marriage in our world today, right? And it's probably seeped into the church. And you can disagree with me. That's fine. That's what I'm here for.
I'm here to let your disagreements fall
Right.
on me.
Marriage gets looked down upon, right? It's this old, outdated institution and a way to control each other and a contract to keep you stuck together and controlled and blah, 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 and all that stuff. False. Marriage is not about keeping you in. It's about keeping everything else out.
Amen, brother.
Right? It is guardrails, right? Those guardrails exist, right? Or the lanes on the road, they don't exist to keep you in. They exist to keep other people out. Right? Your marriage is not it's like a house. Like, do you lock your doors at night? If you don't tell people. But
yes.
Right? We lock our doors at night, right? Because other people stay out. You don't lock your door to keep your kids. Well, I lock my door to keep my kids in because, they're weird and do weird things. But you don't lock your door to keep your family inside. You lock your door to keep other things out, right?
Yeah.
To protect this because it is exclusive, right? Because no one else is invited into that, right? That's my hot take.
It's a lot like
marriage.
Your skin. It's not to keep your body in. It's to keep the world and the elements out.
Oh, man, that's good. How can we put that on a T-shirt? Can we make it? We probably can't make it.
I love my skin. That's just asking for trouble. Never mind. Next idea.
My skin keeps it in. Like all your organs and things. No,
like that
not
one.
great.
I don't like that one.
All right, look, we probably won't workshop T-shirt ideas on the show anymore.
By the way, Cody
Man.
said we did the plans last week. So
did it last
your
week?
memory is fading, old man.
Look, I am getting old. We practice all these. I'm always a week ahead or a week behind in worship and things. But all right, so here's where I want to end. I want to end with we're going to end with two things, right? So number one, put in the chat and or text the midweek number if you know what this song is from. Okay, what line this song is from, or what song this line is from. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, because this came to my mind. Courtney has to give a graduation speech at KCA on Friday.
Yep.
And I tried to get her to put this in, and she won't do it.
That's why you just play it.
Right, I might do it. I
Just
won't.
play it.
Because she'll hurt me. And she's small, but she terrifies me, rightfully so. But it really kind of solidified for me like the way our seasons work, right? Because we flow from season to season. There are good seasons and bad seasons. But truth is, God wants to use every single one of those seasons for His glory and for our good.
Yeah.
Right? That's not the line in the song, but that'd be a good one. But every single season, right? God uses all of them to bring Himself glory, right? It's not to make us look good, not even make us feel good. Like even the good seasons are not like, well, I just wanted to give you this gift, right? Like, yes, that's part of it. But the ultimate reason for all of the seasons, the good things that God does for us is for His glory. Even the bad seasons that He brings us through, they're for His glory and for our good. So always keep that in mind. But I always love this song. And this line is like underrated and profound in this song. Okay, this is not a Christian song, so I'll give you that disclaimer. But it's a fantastic song. It's not on there.
I know.
Right?
I'm just looking.
But every season, right, brings something new. So I love this line, and I'll put it in the chat if you can figure out what it's from. But you can't Google it. So honor system, no Googling.
No AI.
Right? Yeah. No Chat GPT, Levi. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Right? Now that's one to dwell on. That's fantastic. It's not
Lionel
scripture,
Richie.
It's not a worship song. All night long. That's not it.
Oh, no.
Thank you for singing with me, because that was I just had this deep moment of regret for singing. Oh, good heavens. But I think there's a lot of truth to that, because every season, like even when a good season ends, right, doesn't mean that there's still not good things to come, right? So keep that in mind. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Put in the chat, see if you know who that is, or what band or what song that is. And no Googling, Levi. I know you're cheating already.
Cheater.
But let's just end with this one last challenge. I want to close with this. What is God trying to show you in your season? Could be a good season, could be a bad season. But God is trying to show you something and grow you up through whatever season that you're in. So be looking for that, and see if you can discern what God is trying to teach you or show you in that season. Look at that. We hit like multiple
John Brunk.
songs. Good old John Brunk. What
Is
John
God
Brunk say?
trying to tell you to shave your head and grow out your beard? Stay where you're at.
Hey, you know what? God has said weirder things in Scripture. God has asked people to do a lot of weird things. And, Brunk, He may be calling you to do that.
Well, God also calls us to step out of our comfort zones, John Brunk. If your comfort zone is balding, then maybe you should step out of that comfort zone.
I mean,
Explore new possibilities.
Cody says he's stuck in the office. He's not.
You're disagreeable, Darren.
He is, in fact, not working hard. I can handle disagreeable, Darren. That seems like a good show. I bet I could do a
really long
TikTok
name.
series. That's I'm not. I don't want to have to be on TikTok though. Good heavens!
Just do YouTube. They have shorts.
Yeah, that's true. I could do that.
I watch YouTube shorts all
Disagreeable Darren. I like that. I feel like disagreeable Darren needs to be a bobblehead. Is it wrong to make a bobblehead of yourself? Is that weird?
the time. Can we put that on a t-shirt?
I'll bet. Look, that seems like a bobblehead though. Yes. But instead of the bobbling yes, it just bobbles no.
That would be so cool.
All right, so we
When's
need
your birthday?
We need. We need to work on that. If somebody knows how to make that, let us know. Also, if you know the name of that song in the chat, please put that in there. There's not a prize for it, but I'm just curious how many people know. Because I asked Trevor before the show, and he didn't know. So
I was
I'm curious.
close. Not really.
No.
I mean, you said it was a good guess, so I figured I was
Maybe. I
close.
don't
And then
remember
you
what your
told me
guess
who
was.
it was, and I was like, that was not a good
I will
guess.
give you a hint. It is not Kelly Clarkson.
It is
It
not,
is not
the
the
Beatles.
incomparable Kelly Clarkson. It is not the Beatles, but they are from the UK.
I have no idea.
I think so. Something like that. It's fantastic. I don't know. Look it up.
We're not
find
going to
out.
give you the decade because that would give it away.
Yeah, I think we need a kill switcher this show that somebody else controls. That's just like, okay, it's done.
You're done.
We're yeah, it's
Just off the
over.
air.
Or we could do like a voting in the show of like when we need to stop. If the majority of people watching are like, nah, we're out. Then it's Levi. I said
Cheater.
don't Google it.
Cheater.
There's no way. There's
No way.
no way, Levi.
You're too young to even know that song, Levi.
I challenge your integrity. You use ChatGPT or the internet somehow,
Or you asked your mom.
or you asked your mom. Well, I guess we didn't say you couldn't ask your mom. Either way, you cheated and you get no points. But yes, it is closing time. The incomparable Noel Gallagher, the poet, the bard. Fantastic. We've gone too long. This is
Well,
going off the
goodbyes
rails
are
very
always the
quickly.
hardest. But thank you for tuning in. We love you guys. And stay frosty, my friends.
No, that's a different.
Oh, wait.
Should we just test out different?
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. I mean, stay frosty, my friends. I think that's that might be copyrighted.
Well, please don't sue me.
Oh, how about this one? This is how we'll end it. It's closing time. So finish your whiskey or beer.
I don't know where you're going, but
Uh,
you can't stay here.
Have a great week and stay motivated.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, when you're feeling down and motivated in the midweek, we got the guys here to make your life complete. Little John, Brandon, Cody, Carly, they're coming in to keep you motivated all week. New episode, same time every week. Don't gotta wait long for the next one to release. So don't go away, sit down, take a seat, enjoy Midweek Motivation with John and Carly. Hey.
Let's go.